In this video, we're going to be showing you how to set up the WebMerge Podio integration so that you can automatically create a document by a simple stage change in your Podio account. We've broken this process down into 5 easy to follow steps. Our first step will be to set up a WebMerge account and then set up a document template and workflow in WebMerge. Our second step will be to set up a custom stage for document creation in your Podio account. Our third step will be to build a webhook using WebMerge's webhook builder. Our fourth stage will be to set up the webhook in Podio. Our fifth and final stage will be to set up a custom field mapping right here in WebMerge. So now that we've got an agenda, let's get to it. Our first step was to set up our WebMerge account. What we need to do is just come to webmerge.me, hit our orange try it for free button, follow the prompts, and set up your free trial account. This account does not expire. It's free and unlimited, so you can take your time to make sure this is going to be a great fit for you. Get it integrated to your Podio account and actually generate documents for free. The only limit with your free trial account is you will see a watermark and a header on top that says test document and all the documents you produce. Once you become a paid account, that will be removed. The other part of our first step here will be to set up a template here in WebMerge. So when we sign into our WebMerge account, we'll come to this screen. You'll see our main features up top here: documents, data routing, and data capture. We'll focus on documents today. Down the middle, this is where you're going to be storing your document templates. And you can see here, I've organized mine by putting some of my files in my folders. To set up your first document template, click our blue New Document button, name your document what you'd like, and click Next. WebMerge will then ask you, where do you want to build or upload your template? We've got 3 different options here. We've got our document builder, fillable PDF, or Office document, which includes Word, PowerPoint, or Excel. Our document builder is just a WYSIWYG editor that's right here in your WebMerge account that you can build your documents right in there from scratch. We also have an advanced editor there that you can build your documents in HTML, and we've got some easy buttons there for using conditional logic and some other tools. If you have a document template that that's a fillable PDF and you want to merge data from Podio into the fillable spaces or checkboxes, you can take your fillable PDF. You're going to use a PDF editor like Nitro or Adobe, and you're going to need to put in values into the fillable spaces where you want to merge in data. It's very simple to do. This is using Nitro here. We'll click our Forms tab here and we'll click Select Fields. Since we already have fillable fields here, we're going to right click, choose Properties. We'll come to General, and then we'll be able to give this space a name. The only rules here are you can't have any spaces or special characters other than an underscore, and you can't start with a number. As long as you follow that, you can name this field anything that you'd like, and then hit Close. This will come important later when we try to match up each of these fillable spaces to a specific data that's coming over from Podio. We'll do this for each of our fillable spaces, including our checkboxes here. Same as we did before, right click, we'll hit Properties. We can give this a name like Tax Classification, and then with the checkboxes, we'll come over to Option, we'll choose our checkbox style, and then we'll choose the value that needs to be selected or sent over to us in order for us to check this box, which in this case would be C Corporation. You'll do this for each of your checkboxes there. So once this is set up, we'll save this to our computer. And then in this section here, we'll upload the document here via our Browse button. If you don't have values in place, then this won't work. So make sure you don't skip that first step. Very similarly with our Office documents here, Word, PowerPoint, or Excel, if your templates are already built here, which a lot of our customers are, it's a very easy transition. We'll take a Word doc, for example here. We'll need to put our merge fields in place. They're a little bit different here in our document builder and then in our Word documents. You'll need to put our merge fields, which here do have some squiggly brackets around the outside and a $sign. So just match our syntax. It'll be a squiggly bracket, a $sign. You can name this field whatever you'd like, and then close it with a squiggly bracket. Same rules as before, no spaces, no special characters other than an underscore, and you can't start with a number. As long as you follow those rules, you can really name this whatever you want. This could have been organization, it could have been just company, or I could have called this Big Bird or Cookie Monster. It really does not matter. We're going to match this specific field and the rest of our fields to a specific data point that's coming over from Podio in one of our later steps. So we'll get these put in place where we want to merge in our data, and we'll save this to our computer. Then we'll come back over here and hit our Browse button, choose the document to upload, and then we're going to hit Create Document. Our last step, if you're a startup company or you're really not happy with your documents currently, we do have a whole list of popular boilerplate documents that you can choose. Open up here, and then you can customize as a good fit for you. So make your selection of where you want to upload or build your document, then just hit Create Document, and you're ready to get started. I'm going to come into a document that I have previously set up here, but it'll show you the exact same flow that you'll be going through with your new document here. So this is a new client contract. When we come to this step, we're going to notice these gray workflow tabs that pop up. We're very simply going to work from left to right here to set this up. Our overview tab is just going to show us how many merges we've had all time and in the last 30 days. And then we're also going to be able to see how many are the deliveries that we've recently had down here. And we'll be able to access the data that we get from Podio, which will come important here in a minute once we set up our webhook. In this example, we chose to build our document in our document builder. So you can see down here, we have some static data, and then we also have our merge fields in place, like organization. It follows the same syntax as we showed before, squiggly bracket, $sign. We named it organization, and then we closed it with a squiggly bracket. We put these throughout our document here to get this document set up. We do have the ability of using conditional logic. So if you want a section of text to show up only if a certain situation is true, then you can add a piece of conditional logic around this. In this example, when we receive value from Podio, if state equals California, then we'll showcase this data. If it does not, this will be deleted. Signing the contract will then be brought up to where this if statement starts, which will be perfectly double-spaced below web developer credits here. So the document flows and the customer has no idea it's missing text. Another popular use case would be to get an e-signature on a document. WebMerge integrates with 8 different popular e-sig solutions. They all have different e-signature tags that we have to put in the document. This is the one for DocuSign. We have an easy button over here where we can access these in our document builder. Just by clicking e-signature tag. And a couple of our popular options are here. Each of the popular services have different tags is the reason they're listed here. So if we wanted to switch something over to hello sign, we could choose signature, initial, or date. We're going to put a different tag right here in place. That's where signer 1 is going to be prompted to sign. If you need a second signer, use the same tag, just change the number to 2, and then put it over here someplace else in the document that you like to have signer 2 sign. Another popular use case here would be to merge in pictures. If you'd like to do that in the document builder, it's going to be very similar to how you merge in text. We'll hit our image button here, and then we're going to be able to put in a merge field. We can call this whatever we like. We'll call it image. We'll hit OK. It's going to put a placeholder in place in the document, and we're going to match this merge field up to a data field in Podio, just like we did here with our other data points, and that picture will flow into the document here. And we'll be able to customize those settings and dimensions of the picture right there whenever we need to. Once we have our document set up there, we'll just hit save, and then we're going to come over to settings. Here we're going to choose what type of document output we want. So we have several different options of what we can output here for you. PDF is our most popular option, but we can also output Word, Excel, HTML, email, JPEG. We can even output a PowerPoint presentation, but you will need to build your template as a PowerPoint so it formats correctly. We also have the ability to upload your documents to Google Drive, which can format them automatically over to a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, or a Google Slide if needed. You'll customize your page size here. We have several options, including a custom size, and then orientation. And then we also give you the ability to name the file. This drop-down is going to regurgitate your different merge fields that you put within your document. They'll be listed nice and neat for you here. So you can choose which one of these you like to name the document by each time it's created. And then status, we can put things in test mode, which just means they're not going to count towards your monthly limit. Or during your free trial, this will give you the ability to generate documents for free. They'll just have the watermark on it and a header that says test document. Once you're ready to become a paid account and use this in production, just switch things over to active and that watermark goes away. If you ever need to change things later and you want to do some testing, just switch things over to test. It won't count towards your monthly limit. We're also going to turn save merge data on for debugging while we're building out our webhook so that we can view the data that comes over from Podio. Then we'll save our settings. Then we're going to skip over here to deliver, and this is where we're going to set up the delivery of our document. So we have a whole menu of different delivery options here. They're broken down by category here. So we can save our document if we'd like in one of these different CRMs in a specific record that we typically created the document from. We'll show you a little shortcut here with our webhook builder that will allow you to save documents right in the Podio record that you created the document from. Document storage, if you have cloud storage, you can integrate very easily to your cloud storage option here, whether it's S3, Box, Dropbox, SharePoint, Google Drive, any of our options here. You do have to have an account. When you choose one of these selections, you'll just give us one-time authentication, typically with a username, password, or an API key. And then we'll be able to pull in your folders or your buckets. You choose where you want your document to be sent to. And then going forward, it'll automatically be stored into the correct folder so you can find it by the name that you save the document by. Very similarly with the e-signature, we do integrate with these 8 different popular solutions. You'll need to have an account here, and you'll choose which delivery you want to go with. You'll give us one-time authentication with a username, password, or API key, and then we're going to pull in a person's name and a person's email address. They'll be connected to an e-sig tag that you have in your document. The document gets sent into your e-sig account, and then we also facilitate emails that go out to all the signers that invite them in to sign your document with a link. They'll be able to review, sign, and then everyone gets a copy of the contracts once it's signed. If you need to hard mail documents out, these 2 services do a great job, Casemail and Lob. We'll basically send them the document with the mailing credentials. They're going to print these documents, stuff in an envelope, stamp, address, put it in the mail, and your clients will receive a copy of the hard document. This is all automated behind the scenes, so you won't have to buy stamps or lick envelopes anymore. Lastly, if you're wanting to email over your documents, which is probably our most popular delivery solution, you can choose this option here. This does come from our servers out of the box, but you can easily switch this over to yours. So it's coming from your side there. You can customize who it's coming from, pulling in data from Podio, or who it's going to, and then customizing the subject or the body of this using data from Podio, so it's a very customized email. We can webhook a document out, we can send it out FTP, we can send it over to Bamboo HR, or we can send it to Google Cloud Print, which is going to allow you to print your document to any printer on the planet that has Wi-Fi. Once you make your selections, then it's going to bring us to our final step, which is to integrate over to your Podio account. What we'll first need to do is go into our Podio account, and we're going to set up a custom stage where we're going to trigger the production of our document. So we'll come into our Podio account, and we're going to be generating a document from our leads and clients object here. What we'll need to do is come in and modify our template, and we're going to set this up where each lead has a certain stage called lead status, and there's going to be different stages. We're going to create a custom stage just by entering a category option here, and that will give you a custom stage where we can build a webhook so that when you change a custom stage to something like sale closed, it will trigger the production of your document. We also have the ability of, once the document's created, we can tell the webhook to go ahead and update the stage to something like contract sent, which we'll do in our example today. We'll need to remember this when we're building our webhook, that our field is going to be lead status and our values are going to be sale closed. That's going to trigger the production of the document, and contract sent is where it's going to be updated once the contract is sent. Our next step is going to be to build a webhook using WebMerge's webhook builder. what we're going to need to do is go back into our WebMerge account, and we're going to click our handy dandy help button up here. This is going to take us to our library of how-to articles. We really quick can search for what we're looking for. Here by our searchable bar, we'll type in Podio. This is going to pull up any article that's connected to Podio. And our first one here is how to integrate with other services. We'll click on this. This is going to open up how to set up our document template, which we've just went through. And it's also going to bring us down here to the section of how to build out our webhook. And this is important because we have a little script here that you can use to build out your webhook. So we'll use this link. We'll click this, and it'll open up to our webhook URL builder. And then we're just going to fill in some data here. The first thing we need to fill in is our merge URL for our WebMerge document template. So we'll need to come back over into our WebMerge account, and we'll come to our merge tab here within our document. WebMerge produces a merge URL endpoint for each one of our document templates. You'll be able to access this from the merge tab, copy this, and then we'll go back over to the webhook builder and we'll put this in place here. We then need to set up our filter, which just means where are we going to trigger the document from in our Podio account. I showed you lead status, sale closed, and contract sent earlier. Our field is going to be lead status here. The value that needs to be in place for the lead status for the document to be triggered to be produced is going to be sale closed. So we'll put those in place. We also have an optional capability of asking it to update a status once the document's produced. So we'll do that. We'll again put our field name as lead status, and we want to update that stage to contract sent once the document has been created and sent. Our last option here is that we'll be able to attach a merged document to an item in Podio. So if you want a document once it's produced to be stored back as a file in the record that it was created from in your Podio account, all you have to do is just click this button here, and you'll notice as you're building this out, our builder has been building your webhook down here. Don't forget, if an error occurs, let's put an emergency email address here so you'll be notified if there's a problem. Once that's done, then we're just going to copy this webhook URL here. And then we'll go on to our fourth step, which would be to set up the webhook in Podio. So we'll come back over to our Podio account. We'll come to leads and clients. We'll see a little wrench up here. Let's click that. And then from our drop down, we'll choose developer. This is where there's going to be a section of setting up a webhook called hooks down here. All we need to do is click add hook. We'll paste in that webhook URL that we just built. And then from type, we're going to choose item update, since we're going to be updating that stage of the lead status to trigger the document. We're going to add hook, and you'll see that our hook just came down here. It is inactive, so we need to verify that. So we'll hit verify. And once it's been verified there, you'll see our webhook is active. So that's completed our setup there. Our next and last step will be to set up a custom field mapping in WebMerge. What we're going to need to do is do a test, trigger the webhook here over to WebMerge to receive the data so we can see what the data field names are and get them matched to the correct merge fields in our document. The first step we're going to need to do is come over here and make sure that we do have our debug mode on, just to go through this again. So you'll just come down to settings, make sure everything's in test mode, and you have save merge data for debugging on. We'll click save settings. Now we can come back over to Podio, and we will generate a document here from one of our leads. So we'll come into one of our leads here, XYZ company. We'll scroll down. We'll be able to take the lead status from hot lead over to sale closed, which is what's going to trigger the webhook and ultimately our document to be created. And you'll see that we just updated this automatically over to contract sent since we received the data. We'll then come back over to our WebMerge account, and we'll see that we just received data that came over. So we'll be able to take a look at this data, which is going to show us what data that we received from Podio. So you can see we received an email address, lots of other information here, including company name, contact name, and several of the pieces of data that we're going to want to go into our document. What we're going to need to do, and it's easier if we just open up another tab here, is come up here to our settings tab. We're going to click advanced settings, and we're going to turn on our use field map for custom integration. So we'll just click this and hit save. And then you'll see a new tab that pops up here called field map. We'll open this up. What we're going to see here is we're going to see all of our little merge fields that we put within our document, everything between squiggly brackets, or if our fillable PDF that we typed into those fillable spaces, they're going to show up. Organization, state, name, company name, all here above the fillable spaces. What we're going to need to do is put the values that Podio is calling each of these data points into these spaces. You can see I already have, but let me show you how we did that. So we'll come down here, and we want to get company name to flow into our document in the right spot. So we'll, on the right side, this is what value this is, this data point that's coming over, but the actual field name is called company name. So we'll click the blue button. This will pop over here. We're going to copy this because this is what Podio calls it. And then we'll come back over into our field map, and then we're just going to paste this in place. And we'll do the same thing for each one of these fields. We'll do one more here. So we'll come back over here. Let's grab state. So we'll scroll down here to state. We'll click on the blue button. It'll give us what Podio is calling this. We'll copy this, and then we'll come back over here to our field map, scroll down to state, and then we'll paste this in place. We'll do this for each one of our data fields so that we get the correct data from Podio that flows into the correct merge field in our document. Once this is all set up, then we'll save field map, and everything is set up successfully. That is how you set up the WebMerge Podio integration successfully so that you can now generate documents just by changing a stage there in your Podio account. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to our support team. You can click the nice little blue button down here, send them a question. They'll get back to you really quickly, or their direct email address is support@webmerge.me. Your other resource is going to be our help button here. It's a great list of how-to articles and videos that'll show you how to do everything within WebMerge. So take advantage of those two resources, and they'll help you to get things built. Thanks for your time today, and good luck web merging.